Hi, I would like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. That we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. And coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. Hey, look, there's a lot of things going on in boxing these days, and we're going to be covering it today. But first, before we get started, we want to play this a little bit for you.
Time somewhere in the area was upset because leadership needs to be served. I call it the skin color.
Man, we want to wish everybody during this month of February a Black History Month. It's a celebration to celebrate uh, African Americans' contribution not only to the America, to the world, from great boxing champions like Jack Johnson, inventors, educators, people from all phases and walks of life that may not had and got the recognition that they had deserved to get during the Jim Crow era. This is to help remind them that it ain't about going back. Life is about going forward. And at the end of this month, February 28th, which is a Saturday from 11 to 4 at the Fighters Heaven, formerly Muhammad Ali's training camp, which is a historical site where Muhammad Ali got ready for the Rumble in the Jungle, the Thriller in the Manila, and many other fights there. But those two historical fights, he got ready there at this camp. And now it's called the Fighters Heaven with Mike Madden, who owns the camp, gives us the opportunity to celebrate not just Muhammad Ali's legacy, but African Americans in general. And also, we bring the Jack Johnson exhibit, the traveling exhibit. We'll be traveling there. That will be on full display at the camp during this Black History Month. It's free. Everything's free with this event. It's at the end. We make sure that we have at the end of the month so everybody can come and celebrate, this Black History Month celebration. The food is free, soul food. We also have people who we have teamed up with, such as the NAACP of Schuylkill County. They have come on board for the last few years to help the fight for freedom, justice, and equality for all people. And also, the Schuylkill County Islamic Society of Schuylkill County, they're on board. A lot of people may not know that Muhammad Ali built over 170 some mosques or masjids, places of worship that the Muslims attend. He built those. So the Islamic Society said, hey, this is a good cause to help fight for freedom, justice, and equality like Muhammad Ali did. He stood up for the downtrodden and the poor and the ones kicked to the side and the ones left out. It was a perfect opportunity for them, so they teamed up with us. And also Sapelo Square, which is a Muslim publishing company, and they promote African American books and literature to educate people about people of color experience is around the world, not just in America, where sometimes history is swiped underneath the rug or whatever. In the Jack Johnson exhibit, we bring the Jack Johnson exhibit there. Number one, Muhammad Ali loved Jack Johnson. And that's how I learned about Jack Johnson was Muhammad Ali. I used to hear him teach and preach about Jack Johnson, who he was, what he represented. And Muhammad Ali loved him. And matter of fact, when Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston up in Lewiston, Maine, he knocked him out. In the post-fight press conference, he was talking in his style that he had, bold and brass, with Angelo Dundee standing on his side, and the other side of him was Steppard Fletcher. Ali had said that in this fight he had used the Jack Johnson anchor punch to defeat Sonny Liston. It was smooth, and he said Jack Johnson, he did that punch, and it helped him win a lot of fights. It's about speed and timing and hitting a person on the chin. So Ali loved it. And I used to hear Ali at the training camp sit for many hours while people were interviewing him outside of his dressing room. There used to be log telephone pole logs that were stacked there. And Ali used to sit when after taking a shower, cooling down, and the crowd would come around, and Ali would come around, preach and teach about Jack Johnson. He was explaining about that anchor punch and how in milliseconds it was so fast and so pretty, is that they had to use slow motion cam to slow the timing of that punch down in order to catch up with the speed and to show that Ali did catch Sonny Liston right smack on the chin. But with the Jack Johnson exhibit there, we have many artifacts, some of the pardon papers, and with the WBC, the great Jose Suleiman, who start pushing an initiative with different presidents. He wrote letters to them, Jose Suleiman, with the WBC, and I was a part of that. And also his son Mauricio, when Jack Johnson got the pardon from Donald Trump in 2019, it was well deserved. A tweet came out about Sylvester Stallone and all of that. But Jose Suleiman was the one with who John McCain and Harry Reid and them were pressing for that to happen. And many people thought that should have happened a long time ago. But Jack Johnson had wrote his own pardon when he was arrested for the Mann Act and sentenced to a year and a day. And he had turned himself in. But when he turned himself in, he had wrote to Woodrow Wilson at the time and asked for a pardon. Once the wheels of justice, the twists and turns that it takes for justice and equality, it may not move as fast as it should, but the twists and turns, it took its right place, and it landed with Donald Trump. And when it landed on him, Donald Trump being a boxing guy, he felt it was the right thing to do, and he did write the pardon, gave Jack Johnson a pardon in 2019 that we were a part of that. All of those documents and stuff like that are a part of exhibit. And also Jack Johnson invented and had a patent to what was known as the monkey wrench. That he wrote that invention while he was in prison. And that wrench is on the exhibit, trucks, gloves, and other documents, a day that they have in Texas. That proclamation is down there. So this exhibit going to Muhammad Ali's training camp, part of the Black History Month celebration, and also traveling. The Jack Johnson exhibit and myself, we had teamed up with Joe A. Freeman and the Freeman Foundation and the Rosetta Stone institution. We had both put our mindsets together. My experience in boxing, dealing with many title championship belts from a lot of different organizations, we came up with the Jack Johnson Legacy Belt. And that Jack Johnson Legacy Belt and Joe A. Freeman, we have one that's part of exhibit that we take all around the Hall of Fames and stuff in the country and around the world. That will be on display February 28th, 2026, which is a Saturday for 11 to 12 at Muhammad Ali's training camp. And also who is going to make a special appearance is no other than the second reigning longest heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes got his start at Muhammad Ali's training camp that pushed him into notoriety, as we say, his start when he was a young fighter coming up. And I met Larry Holmes there when he came up to the camp, the training camp in Deer Lake. So Larry Holmes and his beautiful wife, Diane, they're going to be there, and we're going to have different presentations that are going to be there. And also, the state of Pennsylvania is going to be there. They're going to give out a special document to us. So the governor's office is going to be there. It's going to be an exciting time for the Fighters Heaven, which is a historical site in Pennsylvania. It's on the registry. They already have a time capsule and those things there at the camp. But with this, it's something great to come to experience all events that's going to happen on the day. And also that great soul food that everybody every year just screams and shouts about. My sister, Rosie, Gail, and Darlene, they're the ones who prepare the food and get it all together, that people scream and shout, and God bless their heart for all the things that they do for this event to help carry on the legacy of Muhammad Ali's chef, Lana Shabazz. Lana Shabazz used to do this at the camp. When Ali said, feed everybody, she would have to put together those meals, and everybody just line up to grab that meal. And Ali used to do that all the time and free of charge. He wouldn't allow them to charge for these meals. And we know that with the Islamic Society that's part of us, we're going to be in the Ramadan, the month of holy fast for Muslims. So we're going to have things for food for later on that day when people are breaking their fast. They can take the food with them in containers. So when they break their fast, it would be a meal for those breaking the fast. And so we look forward to seeing each and every one of you. We also have the different boxing Hall of Fames, presidents, and bringing children and stuff there for this event. The Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, Larry Leigh, and his great team with Mark Irwin, who's on our show from time to time, profiling fighters. They're going to be there with a bunch of children, so that's going to be exciting. Craig Hawk from the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, he's going to be there. Muhammad Ali's in the Hall of Fame. He's also in the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. They're going to be there in attendance. They've been quite many years, and it's going to be happy to see all of them. It's always a great time. And also Larry Donald and Tim Austin. Larry Donald, former WBC heavyweight champion. Tim Austin, long-reigning bantamweight champion, and both of them are Olympians, and they keep the Olympic experience alive from Muhammad Ali when they were young and met Muhammad Ali. They talk about those stories, so they'll be attending. And Lynn Carter, who is a renowned boxing judge, is going to be there on a judge's clinic just to inform people the right way to judge a fight and how judges judge the fight. So, and at the end, you're going to be able to judge a fight and everybody. So she's going to do that well after she gives a little seminar. And also Tony Leaks. Tony Leaks is going to be there putting on a referee, talk about refereeing his experience with Manny Pacquiao, Klitschko and all that. We just had him on the show a few weeks ago. He was talking about all that. So people get a chance to meet these great individuals like Harvey Dock. Harvey Dock, well, Harvey Dock did just the Shakur Stevenson and Telavita Lopez. He just refereed that big, great fight. And we're going to be talking about that fight a little later in the show here. But you'll get to meet and greet and hear him preach and teach about how and he judges fights and not judges, referee fights, excuse me. You'll be able to ask them questions and all the great fights that he has refereed, him and Tony Leak. So it makes for good conversation, and for them to be there and wanting to do this part of African American history for Black History Month is just a blessing to have these guys here and wanting to do it, to give back, to teach people about their experience and the trials and tribulations that you have to go through to make it to the top. It's going to be a great day. And also we have the Schuylkill County Girl Scout, one of their Girl Scout organizations. Last year they were there, and boy, those Girl Scout cookies were a hit. They sold out all their cookies. They went fly by. So I hope they don't run out this year. I hope they have enough and then sell some more and got to go get some more. So it's going to be a great experience. And with Larry Holmes coming there, the great boxing promoter, Rod Muhammad, and all of those people from North that are bringing kids with them. It's going to be a joyful time. Murad Muhammad, who once was a promoter for Muhammad Ali and a security person when he was young with Muhammad Ali, with the Nation of Islam, who promoted Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones for a long time, and a lot of other well-known, who one of the first prison fights inside of Broadway State Prison, Murad did. So he's going to be there, man. It's going to be an exciting time there. And Rabina, who's president of the NAACP, she's going to be there, and her family with Sapelo Square, and they're going to be there. So, hey, look, the date is February 28th from 11 to 4, Muhammad Ali's training camp. We're going to be there having a great time. And those that are traveling out of town, down in Hamburg, there's a Microtel hotel. If you want to spend the night or something there, that is the hotel that is close by. It's 6 miles from the training camp where 78 and 61 meet, down by the crossroads of 61 and 78. So we look forward to seeing each and every one of you there at this event. But let's jump into some boxing news now. Look, Floyd Mayweather is suing some former business partner and TV networks for $340 million. He said that they fell short or paying him. Espinosa, who was the president of Showtime Sports, and Al Heyman. What Mayweather is claiming in the lawsuit is that they misdirected some funds and shortchanged him, that he believes from the Conor McGregor fight, which is one of the largest pay-per-view events, who made tremendous amount of money. So, Mayweather now is 49 years old, and, the rumor mill that's saying that he's in financial trouble. It looks like that he's searching through his book, trying to count the pennies now, which pennies turn into millions when you have a big gate like that. And it looks like he's trying to recoup some of those misdirected funds it's going to be interesting to see how all of that turned out. But in 2015, Mayweather and Pacquiao fight, that gross income was like $600 million. So it's going to be interesting to find out if it makes it to court. I like to listen to all of that to see what really happened to money and see if the letters of credit line up and from all that came in from the funds. So, yeah, as that's happening, we also have Canelo Alvarez as he's healing and recovering from his fight with Terence Crawford. He says he wants to have one more try at it. It looks like they had announced him and Turk Al-Sheikh that he'll be climbing back in the ring in September in Saudi Arabia. An opponent has not been announced yet, but he is screaming out at Terence Crawford and say, well, let's do it again. Let's see what happened. But Terence Crawford is saying, I'm retired, man. So it don't look like he's going to be able to pull Terence Crawford out of retirement. He said he's retired and he's staying in retirement. And hey, if you got it like that and you can be about it like that, hey, go for it, champ. But a great champion inside the ring. He's showing that is standing up for what he believes to be right. He's saying that he ain't for sale. He made it as a conscious, rightful decision that he's retired and he's staying in. But, you know, like I tell all the young men, don't tear bridges down that one day that you might have to come back over. You know, it was really something. So as you've seen them in New York with Shakur Stevenson, and as Shakur looked phenomenal, who had put on a master boxing clinic as sticking to the fundamental game of boxing. The hardest punch in boxing to get away from or defend is a jab. We call it an educated jab when a guy has done his homework and practiced right. The timing of a educated jab, which Shakur Stevenson was throwing, it's a defensive weapon. It's an offensive weapon. It's a range finder. You find your distance, your timing, and your rhythm with a good educated jab. And that's what Shakur Stevenson used in order to defeat Telavito Lopez in a great matchup in Madison Square Garden last Saturday. Shakur, it looks like a lot of people, Conor Ben was calling him out at ringside. Shakur in the moment said, come on down to 47, I'll fight you then, there. You know, if you want to talk that stuff, but, you know, he was there. I guess he was trying to get into the light of Shakur Stevenson as he pulled off a win. No one thought that he could win like that, and some did think he could win like that, but he showed that the reason why he's a four-time division champion, as he moved up from 4 different weight classes and won 4 different titles in 4 different weight classes over a period of time to become one of the youngest and fastest reign to do that. Hats off to Shakur Stevenson for a boxing clinic and a masterpiece well done. And then at the aftermath, you're hearing a lot of things that Shakur Stevenson is talking about after the fact. And I'm going to tell what I just said about Terence Crawford. Don't tear down bridges that you may have to go back over one day, because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And right now you're undefeated. You're on your way. But hey, what goes up someday come down. And one day you're going to experience that you're going to call some of these people and want to do something or want a favor, and they won't even answer your calls. And but when you do things right and treat things the way it's supposed to be treated, with respect, kind, and courtesy, you leave a door cracked open that you can always knock and always go in. And people will always say that when you were on top, you gave people an opportunity, you treated people with respect, you keep them trying, keep them gentle. And that's what champions do. It's about respect and handling things in the right manner. I did love what Shakur Stevenson said about Telavito Lopez. That's a prime example of what happens when you come up short. That many people in the game are just for people in the winner circle and not in the loser circle. And that was a sign to you, Shakur, is remember what Lopez, what you said he was experienced as y'all were waiting to see the doctors, and he was sitting all by himself, where the hee-ha and the hoo-ha and the rah-rah-rahs were nowhere around. They weren't there to ice him down or make sure that he was being hydrated up properly after a fight like that, making sure from the cuts and stuff and the bruises that he experienced in the fight is that he's not having dizzy spells, faintness, or anything like that, or making sure that he's secure, that he health-wise, that he's safe. And you have to stay by fighters like that in these big fights when you come up short. And I'll tell you, for instance, when Mike Tyson got beaten on Tokyo, we were right there. Matter of fact, in the ring, and that date is coming up for one of the largest upset in boxing history. If you see Mike Tyson, he asked me in the ring what happened. And I told him that he got beat because he didn't think he lost. In his mind was in that fight mode. And that tells you the type of fight Mike Tyson was and fighter he was. And I told him, well, you got beat and you got knocked out. So I hugged him at that time because he looked at me like no, it can't be. So I hugged him, So at that time, I believe Mike Tyson needed the hug. And we stuck with him, and in the dressing room, we talked to him and all of that about different things that what happened. But through it all, I believe there was a long count in that fight. That was well noted at ringside by Don King as he screamed and pranced to the officials that the count was long. And at the time, they didn't believe it until later on. They turned back and seen that the count was long. And I still believe to that day, Buster Douglas fought a hell of a fight. Not to take anything from Buster Douglas, but there was a long count, and Mike Tyson got shortchanged of a bad decision by the referee. And it was a night that is always going to be remembered from that great upset when Mike Tyson got beat. So also, what conversation about Shakur Stevenson is about him moving up. The fight for Telavito Lopez, WBO, junior lightweight or super lightweight championship at 140 pounds. That belt was the WBO, which is the World Boxing Organization belt. It wasn't the WBC belt. So what happens in most of these cases in the rules, when you go fight for another organization and moved up. Now, it'd have been a different story if he had fought for the WBC title and moved up. So he said, no, I didn't want to relinquish that. Well, you won the title in the upper weight class. And it's hard to hold all of them titles, at one time. Henry Armstrong, a great champion like him, who was down in that weight class. Uh, he fought. And, he had trouble trying to do it. And let me tell you, Shakur, you're at 140. Life is about forward motion, not backward motion. Move forward. The WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, who had came out and said that the WBC has stripped Shakur Stevenson of their belt to give other fighters an opportunity that are in line, since he's not at that weight class anymore, and open the door for other fighters who's banging at the bit at 135 pounds. But Shakur's saying he still wants to fight at 135 pounds, and he feels like he should be the champion. Well, I'm like this, brother Shakur. No one can't stop you from fighting at 135 pounds. That's your choice. But it seems from the information you just won't be fighting with the WBC 135-pound championship, because they had stripped you. But these are the things with professionalism and having professional conversation with those organizations, where they find where you stand and how you want to do, because it's a safety for the fighter. You know what I mean? They know it. Once a fighter moves up and you done built muscle and all of that, it becomes a health risk for you to come back down to a 5-pound weight difference, to those type of weight restrictions and stuff like that. And because of different safety reasons, this is why they had adjusted the rules for such to keep fighters' safety. I understand, when you win belts, these titles mean a lot to fighters. And I understand that, many belts that my fighters have won. I had a champion every weight class I've trained. So I understand our fighters move up and all of that. But it becomes a complex issue when it becomes the boxer's safety and all of that. And I believe that's what's going to, they're standing for your safety. There's a lot of great fights out there, Shakur, for you. Devin Haney, Javante Davis, all of those guys like that, hey man, there's a lot of things happening for you after a fine win. But all I want to say, man, is congratulate you, Shakur Stevenson, a masterful performance of a great boxer like yourself. And man, keep it classy, champ. You're a classy champion. Keep your business classy, and you stay classy, because you're that kind of guy. You're a class act, and don't get pulled into all the mud with those type of trash talkings when you're doing great business. You've done great business to get to this part, and brother, keep it going so you can get your just due. Inside the ring, you have proven it, and outside the ring. So God bless you on your endeavors, Shakur. We love you for all that you have done and all that you're going to do for the sport of boxing, man. You're a great champion. And also, man, Shakur, with that WBO super lightweight title, in that fight, all the three judges had it the same, 119, 109, man, which tells you, man, everybody was seeing what Shakur did. It was phenomenal. So we have a lot of up-and-coming matches that have been signed in boxing. We also have Derek Chesner and Deontay Wilder, Asura. in London. It's going to be on DAZN, April 4th. They're going to be biting at the bit. This is an interesting heavyweight championship, is because both of them are on the line of retirement or out that way, with Deontay Wilder being a long time WBC champion. I think he has close to 8 or 9 uh, heavyweight the title defenses with that WBC belt. If he loses this, it's going to be tough to get back up in those big money fights that with his name that he's able to do. And this is a crossroad fight for both of them. And the same way with Chisora, if he could win, it would put him back in the hunt because he has a big name. So that's April 4th. And then you have Sebastian Fedorov and Keith Thurman that have signed, and the WBC Super Welterweight Championship, March 28th. That's going to be interesting fight. And also February 22nd, which is coming up, the GOAT Carissa Shields against Cruz. She's going to be there February 22nd in her hometown of Detroit. Man, and boy, she's been packing them in there. So we're going to watch and see how all of that takes place for Carissa Shields. I mean, they're going at it. This is going to be one dynamite heavyweight women's matchup in Detroit. All the antics are coming out. And they're talking it, they're walking it, man. They're styling, smiling, and profiling both of those women. They're strutting their stuff. They're fine in the face and cute in the waist. And boy, do they pack a wallop of a punch, both of them. And this is what makes a great heavyweight matchup for women. And I can't wait to see both of them in the ring for boxing, displaying what they do best, man. It's going to be a dynamite fight for Carissa Shields, February 22nd in Detroit. And man, I can't wait for that. And also, the Boxing Hall of Fames most of them have announced their class. From the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame at the beginning of the year, they announced their class of inductees, and you can see that on my Facebook page. Also, the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, they just announced their class of 2026 with James Toney leading that class, and there with Cello and Tito and those guys like that, and Darren Van Horn. So that's an interesting class. And also the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame with Craig Hawk, man, he's doing a great job as always. He has announced his class, and we're looking at that for May 2 and 3 in Indianapolis, Indiana, with Jill Diamond and Gilberto Mendoza Jr. and all of those, the WBA and the WBC well represented. It's going to be a wonderful time. And Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, they announced their class for Ring 8. They announced their class, and the International Boxing Hall of Fame announced their class with Antonio Tolliver and the gang. So everything's tuning up for 2026, man. It's going to be an exciting time for us, man, in boxing with these great matchups that are being made. And also, we want to commend Turk Al-Sheikh for a job well done. What he did in New York before the Shakur Stevenson fight with Ring Magazine. The list was long, fine, and distinguished about some legendary champions the top champions, Usyk, Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, all of them were there. If the great champions weren't presenting or getting an award, they were presenting award. To highlight each and every one of them. And Terrence Crawford got Fighter of the Year, and Usyk was the one who presented him with his award from Ring Magazine. So we want to say to Turk Al-Sheikh, man, thank you so much for allowing us to enjoy such a great event that you had in New York. It was always a pleasure with all the surrounding to have Lennox Lewis, an old-time champion, Michael Spinks, and all of them guys there for an amazing, amazing event. And it's just good. And the next, to top it off with that great card that was at Madison Square Garden, man. As always, Turk Al-Sheikh is doing it when he stands by with himself. He does it, and we want to thank all the boxing organizations, from Mauricio Suleiman, for all the great work you do, Gilberto Mendoza with the WBA, with all of those great organizations, the WBO, the IBF with Daryl Peoples, who's over in Thailand getting ready the convention for this year for the IBF that's going to be in Thailand. That's going to be exciting. You know, these organizations change young men's lives from around the world. I had seen a video that Manny Pacquiao's wife picked up on her Facebook page. And boy, Manny Pacquiao never forgets where he comes from. A great champion who goes right back in them downtrodden, the poor in those neighborhoods, the smile, the handshake, the hug, the kiss, those people, to give them some hope and fire and desire, and to say, you are somebody. You can be somebody. You can make it. And that's what champions do, and that's what these boxing organizations do. They help young men that have a dream, you know, and those dreams only come true if you believe that they do. You dream a little while, you work hard, you make them happen. And, you know, these boxing organizations, they help those dreams come true for the days nobodies and turn them into somebody, by holding those championships to say that you're champion of the world. And man, with that, we want to say thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars.